Hey everyone, it's been a while since I've done a video like this, so I figure I should probably get another one out there since things are changing once again. This is basically the remnants of my silver collection. I have a random silver 1 ounce coin, I have one ASE, and I have a 5 ounce generic bar. That's pretty much all I have left. I sold the rest of it. My first video about silver was basically talking about how COVID affected prices. For the longest time, silver had been nice and level, and just bouncing back and forth between $14 and $18 for the longest time, and that was it. There was nothing exciting happening. Then COVID hit, and the price shot up. Well, it was obvious that silver was going to shoot up at that particular point because, well, it was a global pandemic, and that's exactly the kind of thing that all the preppers were talking about happening. So a global pandemic caused silver to go from that $14, $15 price all the way up to 28 bucks. Then a funny thing happened. They came up with a vaccine, and lo and behold, silver started to drop. And while all the silver touters sat there saying, oh, $50 silver, $100 silver, $200 silver, I know one guy that said, no, silver's going to dip back down to 18. I'm not buying silver again until it goes back down below 18. And what do you know? Silver didn't hit $50. It didn't hit $100. It dropped back down to 18, and for a day, it even went down to 15. Now it's been slowly back on the rebound. It was bouncing back and forth between 18 and 19 for the longest time. But then people were talking about the economy and how bad the economy is. Right? I mean, I shouldn't have even put those words out there. I should have simply said, the economy, is it good or bad? What do you think? And then once you have decided whether the economy is good or bad, why? I want you to think about that. Do you think the economy is good or bad because of what somebody told you on TV? Or do you think the economy is good or bad based on personal experience? It's a valid question, okay? The reason I say that is because how would you define a good economy? Would you define a good economy as record low unemployment? Would you define a good economy as more jobs available than there are unemployed people? Would you define a bad economy as the highest salaries being offered at any point? Would you define a bad economy as high inflation? Would what are your definitions of all this stuff? Because all that's happening all at the same time. So the question becomes whether or not this is actually good or bad, and I guess it's simply a matter of perspective if you stop listening to the talking heads. From my perspective, I used to work 48 hours a week at a job I hated. Now I work 30 hours a week and I make just as much money. So to me, that's good. Yeah, inflation has gone up a little bit, but why? It's because businesses can't find anybody to work. So businesses have to pay more money to get those people to work. And if they're paying more money to get people to work, they have to raise their prices. But if they're raising their prices, it's going to cost more for you to buy their product. Luckily, you have a job that now pays more so you can buy that product. People are saying this is bad. People will look at gas and go, oh, gas is $4 a gallon, the world's over. No, it isn't. If $30 every 2 weeks is going to break you, you've got bigger problems. People love complaining about the price of gas. Here's a sidebar, if you will. When I buy coffee, I go to the grocery store and I buy a big old thing of coffee, and it'll cost me $15 for that big old tub, and I can make at least 15 gallons of coffee. So I pay $1 a gallon for my coffee. If I was to instead go to McDonald's and get a large coffee for $1, at that point I'm paying $7 a gallon for coffee. Now, what if I took it a step further and decided I was going to go to Starbucks every day? At that point, I'm now paying over $40 a gallon for coffee. Do you care about those numbers? No, not in the least. Have you ever considered every time you go to Starbucks you're paying $40 a gallon? Probably never. Will you think about it next time you go to Starbucks? Probably not. So tell me again why you think $4 gas is bad compared to $2 gas when a product you use daily can be $40 a gallon and you don't even think about it. It's because it has no effect. It's a nice thing to complain about, it has no effect. All right, some people like complain about the price of eggs. Once again, there was a bird flu. There weren't any eggs. Prices soared. Prices are coming back down. All right, so what does all this have to do with anything? Well, what this has to do with is there were some banks, well, interest rates is where I'm going with this. There were some banks that tried to put their money into longer term guaranteed income, which would be bonds. Okay, those are very small turnovers, but they are guaranteed. The problem is that they are for the long haul. So if you put your stuff in for the long haul at a very low price, and then inflation hit like it did, well, you can't cover the amount of inflation based on the amount of interest you're getting. And what happened? A couple banks who did that long term plan failed. Does that mean every bank's going to fail? No. Those banks took a high risk option, or what they thought would have been a low risk option, but whenever you put all your money into one thing, that's high risk. So with those banks failing, that got these silver people to go, oh, here we go again, $50 an ounce, $100 an ounce, $200 an ounce. And well, that's just not true. When two banks fail because of poor judgment, that doesn't mean all the banks are going to fail. So this is what I did. You guys remember my silver that I had on eBay? Well, let's take a look at it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I actually got cash for it, my 20 ounces that were sitting in this jar. I turned it in and I got $520 for it. That's 26 bucks an ounce. That's what I got for my silver. I bought my silver when it was $16, $15 or $16. And yeah, that's what I got for my silver. Why did I choose to sell now? This is why I chose to sell now. Now, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm simply showing you what I did and why. Let me bring this up here. It'll take me just a second to get it organized. Sorry for the juggling of the camera, but there we go. And we'll try to lock this in. All right, this is silver. The silver chart. Starting March 6th, going to today, April 5th, 6th, something like that, according to this. And it's on the upswing, isn't it? Yeah, all right, silver's going to rise. 200, here we come. No, not the case. This is the 1 month view. But you're not supposed to look short term. You're supposed to look long term. So let's look at 3 months. Well, look at that. It was at the $24 range around January, and it dipped all the way down in March to almost under 20. And now look at this sharp increase. Oh my God, there's a run on silver. No, this represents that one bank, SVB Bank or whatever. That's that bank failing. And that's the run it caused on silver, because everybody says, oh, all the banks are going to fail. No, they're not. They're fine. But see what a little bit of scare tactic will do? Drive that price off. And who do you think made a ton of money? All the silver dealers who got you guys to all run out and buy more silver at a ridiculous price. But once again, this isn't long term. This is 3 months. Let's go 6 months. Here's the 6 month number. And what do you know? Here is the last peak of silver, heading off around, what is that? Right around the turn of the year at $24 an ounce. Look way back here. That's when silver dipped down to the $18 mark, just like I said it would. Surprise, surprise. And then after it did that, it did make a little bit of run to come back up. But after the run, things start to go back in this direction like they're supposed to, until the next thing, which is, oh, all the banks are going to fail. No, they're not. But 6 months still isn't even long term. So let's look a year. Here is 1 year. Look at this. That is the peak of COVID. Is it? That's actually the second peak. Let's go 3 years. There we go. There is the peak from COVID right there. And this peak, that is the spike when COVID started, the mass hysteria that ensued, and then you've got these numbers all in a long downward trend. If I stretch this out as long as I possibly can, now it becomes a lot more clear. This is where silver was for the longest time. Then here you had the 2008 recession, which caused it to bump up. Then you get to here where you've got the COVID spike, and now, or this isn't the COVID spike. That's this is the COVID spike right here. Here it got to 50, almost 50, and you see how much people believe that. This is the COVID spike right here, and now we are on a gradual downward trend to what would have been normalcy. So when you look long term, yeah, here's the spike, and now we're going down. The whole reason I bring this up is because, like I said, currently it looks like it's on the rise. So that's why I sold. I sold because this is probably the next peak that you're going to see. Once again, looking at this, that's 5-year. Here's this. Here's the angle heading back down toward normalcy. This is just a random spike for a fear tactic. So if you still have silver, yeah, great time to get out of it. And that's why. Once everything settles back to normal again, then you're going to see prices returning to normal. So if you've been holding on to silver, if you've been buying silver when it's $25 an ounce plus paying $3-4 an ounce premium, wow, what a waste. But yeah, we're heading back to normalcy. One of the things that I should have tossed in earlier about the economy, they are raising interest rates. They have been raising interest rates. What's the point of raising an interest rate? The point of raising an interest rate is to slow down the economy. Well, if they're trying to slow down the economy, that means the economy is good, doesn't it? The economy is too good. It's causing people to not take the cheap jobs, so you've got no one doing the grunt work, which is causing inflation. So I don't understand the part where everybody says, oh, the economy's terrible. It's wild, but it's hard to say it's terrible, especially when they're doing everything in their power to slow it down. Anyway, I just had to put that out there because a lot of you were wondering if I still had my silver. No, I sold it. I got good cash for it, and that's what I did. I'd love to say you should too, but I don't want to give out financial advice. I'm simply telling you, yeah, I sold my silver. And when it gets back down to 18 and back down to normalcy, yeah, I might buy more silver. But yeah, buying silver right now, stupid. All right, guys, that's my silver rant for this particular week. I'll talk to you the next time silver does something weird. Take it easy.